Hello everyone, this is Rohith and welcome to Mind Minutes with Santhosh. Let me ask you something honestly. The life you are living right now, did you choose it or did you slowly adjust into it? Today, we are talking about something many people feel but rarely admit, the pain of living a life you didn't choose. In our lives, many major decisions weren't fully ours. What to study, which college to attend, who to marry, where to settle. The reasoning always sounds responsible. Parents know better. This is safer. What will people think? And slowly, without drama, our voice becomes softer. Not silenced by force, silenced by adjustment. Imagine this. A girl loves fashion design. She dreams of building something creative, but her family insists engineering is secure. She adjusts. 4 years later, she has a degree, a job, a salary. From the outside, success, but inside, something feels missing. That's not failure, but it's not fulfillment either. And here is the hardest part. Living a life you didn't choose doesn't look wrong from outside. You smile in pictures, relatives call you settled, your LinkedIn looks impressive. But at night, when everything is quiet, you feel disconnected. You are not physically tired, your soul is. There is a difference between being comfortable and being fulfilled. You can be stable and still feel empty. Psychology explains this through something called self-congruence. It simply means your inner values and your outer life must align. If they don't, you experience anxiety without reason. Irritation over small things, low motivation, a heaviness you can't explain. You are not lazy, you are misaligned. You are walking in a direction that doesn't reflect who you truly are, and that drains energy. There's a powerful line in the top 5 regrets of the dying. One of the biggest regrets people expressed before death was, I wish I would had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Think about that. After decades of being practical, responsible, and socially approved, the final realization becomes, this wasn't my life. That's the real fear. Not failure, not lack of money, but regret. The regret of never truly choosing yourself. Now here is a brutal truth. At some point, no one is forcing you anymore. Yes, early on there may have been pressure, parental expectations, financial dependency, but after a certain stage, we continue the life ourselves. Why? Because we want approval, because we fear disappointing people, because we think it's too late. And we rename that fear as responsibility. But sometimes it's fear wearing a respectable mask. Let me share something real. I once met a doctor, stable career, good income, family proud. But his real dream, it was music. At night, when everyone slept, he played guitar in secret. And one day, he said something that stayed with me. I was born to heal others, but there is no one to heal me. That line was heavy. He heals patients daily, but his own passion was suffocating. That's what living someone else's dream looks like. Sometimes the pain isn't that you failed, it's that you succeeded in something you never wanted. The good part, he didn't quit dramatically. He transitioned slowly. Weekend performances, music classes, small steps. Today, he is still a doctor, but he is also a musician. Same identity, but expanded, more aligned, more peaceful. That's the difference. You don't always need a revolution. Sometimes you need realignment. If we start living a life we didn't choose, at a certain stage, the biggest pain that shows up is identity confusion. You start asking, who am I beyond my roles? Good daughter, responsible son, perfect spouse, stable employee. Roles are necessary, but when roles replace identity, you lose yourself. As discussed in Man's Search for Meaning, meaning is not handed to you externally. It must be created internally. Without meaning, even success feels hollow. So, when does change begin? Usually not with excitements. It begins with discomfort, burnouts, breakdown, a quiet moment in front of the mirror. This isn't me. That sentence is painful, but it is powerful. Because the awareness is the first shift. You don't have to resign tomorrow, but you can stop ignoring yourself today. If you feel like you are living a life you didn't choose, here is where to begin. Stop blaming endlessly. Blame gives comfort, responsibility gives control. Start small. Explore what genuinely interests you. Give your passion 1 hour a week. Practice saying no. Build financial clarity. Freedom requires preparation. Talk to someone honest. Fear will exist, but regret lasts longer than fear. Being practical is important, but being permanently disconnected from yourself is dangerous. Build stability, but don't sacrifice your soul for it. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to rescue you, and no one will live the consequences for you either. If this feels heavy, that's okay. Awareness is uncomfortable. Maybe you can't change everything today, but you can start choosing consciously. Don't spend your entire life trying not to disappoint others while continuously disappointing yourself. Because in the end, you are the one who has to live with you. Choose intentionally, live honestly, and don't reach the end of your life realizing you never truly lived it. Until next time, take care.